Hello, good morning everyone. So just discussing oil prices today. We've had some news, namely this bit of news, if you can see it behind me on the platform. Gulf of Man oil tanker crews rescued after attack. So it appears that one, if not two, oil tankers off the Strait of Hormuz in the Gulf of Oman have been torpedoed. So obviously this is quite disturbing news. Typically anything that happens affecting, potentially impacting oil supplies from the Middle East, remember around a fifth of the world oil supply comes to that tiny little strait through the Middle East in that sea between Saudi Arabia and Iran. And so we've seen the knee-jerk reaction in the oil price. You can see that on the daily chart behind me, this white candlestick here being today's price action, pretty much undoing all of yesterday's sharp drop. Now, a few days ago, I did another video on oil talking about between 63 and 64 being a potential short-term top and looking at potential retest of the 60 mark. Well, that's what we've had. Now, potentially, with this latest bit of news and the technical setup that we're looking at, potentially looking a little bit of a rebound here, potentially a double bottom pattern in and around $60 a barrel in oil. So, depending on how today finishes up, how this particular crisis is resolved or not, will affect whether we're potentially on for a further extension move higher. I think the kind of broader situation makes this potentially give oil a bit more legs. We've had a sharp move lower after a steady rise for a number of months. So that sharp move lower probably needs a bit of a snapback. So potentially just a short-term base at least. We hit the round number, which is $60 per barrel, but we weren't able to break below it on two different attempts. Well, we have moved below it, but we're pushing back above it immediately afterwards. So potentially a false break here, at least on two occasions. And these broader Middle Eastern tensions are that obviously the Trump administration in the US are pushing Iran in terms of the previously agreed nuclear pact, and so there are sanctions back on Iran now. And so Iran under political pressure, Iran and Saudi Arabia and the UAE also on opposing sides in the war in Yemen. So there's all sorts of political ramifications and justifications perhaps for one of these state actors potentially involved in these torpedo attacks. So with all this going on, oil supply is potentially at risk. And at least for the time being, we think maybe that gives the market some respite and causes a little bit further incline in oil prices. But we have to see how the market closes today and probably the following day. If we can hold above the $61 a barrel mark in Brent, that gives us a sort of $2 margin for error, keeping above $59, which was just below the recent swing low. And that gives us room for another 400 points or $4 to the upside, potentially targeting the other round number of $65 a barrel. All right, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good luck trading for the rest of the day.